Welcome to the Daily English Talk podcast. My name is Jake, and I'm your host today.
And I'm Emma, so glad to be here.
Today, we're talking about something that can really help make your English conversations smoother and more natural. Small talk.
Exactly.
You know, that moment right after you say hello and things can get a little
Oh, yeah.
stuck.
Sure.
So we're going to tackle that head on today, and we're going to give you some really practical ways to just make those light, everyday conversations flow more easily and help you feel way more confident.
Yeah, think about it. You meet someone, you exchange greetings, and then sometimes your mind can just go blank.
Right.
It happens to everyone, especially English learners.
Yeah.
Our goal today is to equip you with some tools and strategies to fill those silences and create easy small talk.
Absolutely. And we have a plan to do just that.
Okay.
First, we'll look at why small talk matters.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about, filling time. It plays a really important role in those daily interactions.
Yeah.
Then we'll explore 5 easy topics that you can kind of keep in your back pocket to get those conversations started.
Exactly. And then we'll share 4 really effective techniques to keep those conversations moving and flowing.
Love it.
And finally, we're going to walk through some example conversations in different everyday scenarios to see it all come to life.
Sounds good. So, Emma, let's start with why does small talk matter?
Well, it might seem like just, passing the time or a bit superficial, but it really does open doors.
Right.
Like how many connections, both big and small, really begin with a simple, casual exchange.
I think about that all the time.
Yeah.
Whether it's, making friends, networking, finding a job, or just making a good first impression.
It's so true.
Small talk is often the initial spark.
Yeah.
Think about it. Have you ever had like a really surprising connection?
Oh, yeah.
Start with something super ordinary.
All the time.
And I think, too, in English-speaking cultures, especially in a lot of places, it's so woven into daily life.
Yeah.
Like you can't escape it.
Everywhere.
It's at work, it's at cafes, it's at social gatherings.
At the store.
Yeah, it's like this lubricant
Yeah.
that just helps things flow.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? And imagine like you're standing in line at the grocery store and the person next to you mentions the long wait.
Yeah.
You could just stand there in silence, or you could use that little moment as an opportunity to connect.
Exactly.
And that just makes the wait a little less tedious.
I love that.
And you never know. Those brief encounters can lead to unexpected things.
That's so true.
You might discover you have a shared interest.
Yeah.
Or you could pick up a useful piece of information.
Oh, right.
Or just make, a boring situation a little bit more pleasant.
So true.
And if you're traveling in an English-speaking country, being comfortable with small talk is just invaluable.
Oh, it's a must.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll interact with all sorts of people from, hotel staff to shopkeepers.
Yeah.
And that ability to engage in just some light conversation can really enhance your experience.
People feel much more at ease around those who can engage in small talk.
I agree.
It signals you're approachable and friendly, and it makes those interactions so much smoother.
And that's key for building rapport.
Absolutely.
When people feel comfortable around you, they're more likely to keep the conversation going.
Yeah.
Maybe extend an invitation or offer assistance if you need it.
Totally.
It's just about creating that positive social environment.
For sure.
And for those of you learning English,
Yeah.
small talk is such a fantastic, low-pressure way to practice.
It really is.
Because you have these opportunities to use the language, pick up new phrases, and become more comfortable speaking in those everyday situations.
Totally.
And you don't have to stress about having perfect grammar.
Exactly.
You don't need complex sentences or really advanced vocabulary.
Yeah.
Just chatting about those everyday things builds your confidence.
Absolutely.
So now that we understand why it's so important,
Yeah.
let's get practical.
Okay.
What are some things that you can actually talk about?
Yes. We've put together 5 really simple and dependable topics for you to have in your back pocket to get you started.
Perfect. So let's dive in.
Okay.
First up, we have the weather.
The classic.
I know it seems obvious,
Uh-huh.
but think about how often it comes up in conversations.
It's the ultimate go-to. It might feel cliche, but it genuinely works in almost any situation.
I think it's because it's safe ground.
Totally.
It's universal, everyone experiences it, and it's generally pretty non-controversial.
Exactly. It's a shared reality that you can always talk about.
So if someone says, it's really hot today, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could just say, yeah.
Yeah, but to keep the conversation going, you could add something like, it's a scorcher. I wasn't expecting it to get this hot so quickly.
Oh, yeah.
How are you coping with it?
Right, so you've agreed, you've added your own observation, and then you've asked a follow-up question,
Exactly.
which invites a response.
And the beauty is it works with any type of weather. Cold, rainy, windy. It's a constant, ever-changing topic that's always there if you need a starting point.
Perfect. So what's next?
All right, next is work or studies.
Okay.
This is a really common topic for small talk, particularly if you're meeting new people or talking with colleagues.
Especially in a professional setting.
Yeah, definitely asking someone, what do you do, is a really common way to start a conversation.
For sure.
And think about how you can expand on your answer.
Yeah, don't just say, I'm a student.
Right, or I'm a doctor.
Right.
You can give a little bit more detail.
Yeah.
So if you are a student, you could say, I'm studying marketing at the university. It's been really interesting exploring how consumer behavior is changing with social media.
I love that.
It gives the other person so much more to potentially connect with.
Yeah, they might ask, oh, marketing, that sounds dynamic. What sparked your interest in that?
Exactly.
Or, wow, social media is huge.
Yep.
What's the most surprising trend you've come across?
Totally. And if you're working, instead of just saying your job title, you could add a little about what a typical day looks like for you or what you find engaging about your work.
And if you're between jobs or taking some time off, you can mention that too.
Absolutely. And what you're exploring next.
Exactly. And if you want to ask someone about their work instead of just that general, what do you do question?
Yeah,
You can say, what do you find most rewarding about your work?
I like that.
Or what surprised you when you first started in that field?
Yeah.
Those are great.
Okay, our third topic is hobbies and free time.
This is where you can really start to connect.
Yeah. This is where you can build those genuine connections because you get a glimpse into someone's personality and what they're passionate about.
So instead of just saying gaming,
Yeah.
when someone asks you, what do you like to do in your free time?
Yeah.
You could say, I'm really into strategy-based video games. I enjoy the problem solving and the community of players online.
Have you ever played any strategy games?
I love that.
Open the door for them.
Exactly. And if you don't have like a specific hobby you're actively pursuing,
Yeah.
you can always turn it back on them and say,
Yeah.
you know, what are some things that you like to do outside of work or school?
Exact.
That's a good one. So topic number 4 is travel and places.
Another good one.
I think this is a really fun one because people usually have strong feelings and experiences related to places they've been or want to go.
It taps into dreams and memories.
Yeah, you could start by asking, have you had the chance to travel anywhere interesting lately?
Or do you enjoy exploring new places?
And if they ask you, instead of just saying, yes, I went to Italy last year, you could say,
Yes, I just got back from Rome. The history there was incredible, and the pasta was absolutely divine.
now I want pasta.
Right.
See, that gives them a chance to say, oh, Rome, what historical sites did you visit? Or what pasta dishes stood out to you?
And even if you haven't traveled recently, you can still participate by saying, I haven't had a chance to travel lately, but I'm dying to go to South America. I've heard Colombia's amazing.
Yeah, and then they might jump in and say, oh, I've been to Colombia. Here are some places that you should go.
Exactly.
Okay, topic number 5, food and restaurants.
Who doesn't love to talk about food?
It's true. Everyone has to eat right.
Everyone has to eat.
So you could start by asking, do you enjoy trying out new restaurants? Or what's your favorite type of food?
Yeah, and instead of just saying Italian,
Right.
you could say, I'm a huge fan of Thai food, especially this little place downtown. Their green curry is out of this world.
Now I want green curry.
You see how much more interesting that is?
Yeah, those are 5 really great topics to get you started with small talk.
Yeah, and remember, you don't need to be an expert in any of those areas. You just have to be genuine and willing to engage.
Exactly. And I think the biggest challenge is keeping the conversation going once you get started.
I agree. That can be tricky.
So we have 4 really effective techniques to help you maintain that flow and avoid those awkward silences.
Yes.
Number 1, asking open-ended questions.
So important.
This is a game changer.
It really is.
Open-ended questions encourage people to give more detailed responses.
Because they can't just answer with a yes or a no. So instead of asking, did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
Which might just get a yes.
Yeah.
You could ask, how was your weekend?
I loved that.
And that prompts them to actually think and share some details about what they did.
Yeah.
So they might say, it was great. I finally got around to visiting that new museum downtown.
And then, boom, you have a natural follow-up.
Exactly.
You say, oh, the new art museum, was it crowded? What kind of exhibits did they have?
It opens up a whole new avenue for the conversation.
Exactly.
What's our second tip?
Number 2, give personal responses and details when you answer questions.
Yes.
So if someone asks you about your favorite movie and you just say the title,
Yeah.
it kind of falls flat.
It can.
But if you elaborate a little bit and say, my favorite movie is Parasite, I was just blown away by the unexpected twists and the social commentary,
Ah,
that gives them something to react to.
exactly.
They might have seen the movie, or they might ask what it's about.
Or they might share their favorite movie with you. And the more you reveal about your own thoughts and feelings and experiences within reason,
Yeah,
the easier it becomes for the other person to find common ground with you.
absolutely. Okay, number 3.
Use follow-up questions.
Yes.
This shows the other person you're genuinely engaged and interested in what they have to say.
So if someone mentions they enjoy playing the guitar,
Yeah.
don't just say, that's cool.
Right.
You can ask, oh, you play the guitar. How long have you been playing?
Yeah.
Or what kind of music do you usually play?
Exactly. It keeps the conversation going and shows you're really listening.
Right. You can also say, oh, really? Tell me more about that. Or that sounds fascinating. How did you get started with that?
Love it.
Okay, and the final one is mirroring and paraphrasing.
This is a really subtle but powerful technique.
Yeah, it can really enhance that rapport.
Absolutely. Mirroring involves repeating a key part of what the other person has said, and paraphrasing means restating their point in your own words to make sure you understand.
So, for example, if someone says, I'm feeling quite tired today because I had to get up incredibly early for a flight.
You could say, oh, you had a really early flight. Where were you flying to?
Yeah.
And by repeating that, you're showing that you're listening,
Yeah.
and then you're interested in hearing more.
Or if they explain a somewhat complex idea, you could paraphrase and say, so if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that the new policy will affect.
Exactly.
I love that.
So just to recap our 4 conversation flow techniques.
Yeah.
Number 1, prioritize asking open-ended questions.
2, enrich your responses with personal details.
3, actively use follow-up questions.
And 4, experiment with mirroring and paraphrasing.
And now to really see how this comes together,
Yes.
let's look at 3 brief examples in different everyday scenarios.
Sounds good. So first up, we have meeting someone new at a party.
Okay, here we go.
Hi there. I don't think we've met. I'm Jake.
Hi, Jake. It's nice to meet you. I'm Emma.
Nice to meet you too. So how do you know the host tonight?
Oh, I actually work with Sarah. We're on the same team at Tech Solutions.
You work with Sarah. That's interesting. What kind of work do you do there?
I'm a project manager in the software development department.
Wow.
It can be quite busy, but it's really rewarding when we launch a new product.
That sounds challenging.
Mm-hmm.
What's been one of the more difficult projects that you've worked on?
Probably the rollout of our latest mobile app.
Oh, wow.
It involved coordinating so many different teams and timelines, but seeing it launch successfully was a great feeling.
I bet. So what do you do to unwind after tackling a big project like that?
So there you go. You can see how that started with a simple introduction, and then it moved into a more engaging conversation by asking open-ended questions about Jake's work, and then transitioned to his hobbies.
Yeah, I love that.
So let's move on to our next scenario, which is small talk with a coworker.
Okay.
Hey, Jake, how's your afternoon going?
Hey, Emma. Not too bad. Just trying to get through this report. How about you?
Same here, but I was just thinking this new coffee blend in the break room is surprisingly good. Have you tried it?
Oh, no, I haven't. What is it?
It's a dark roast, a bit bolder than what they usually have.
Okay.
If you like a strong cup of coffee, you might enjoy it.
Oh, I do. I'll have to check it out on my next breaks. Thanks for the heads up.
No problem. Let me know what you think.
So that was short and simple.
Yeah,
But it shows how you can build those everyday connections with the people you work with.
exactly. It's all about those little moments.
So for a final example, let's imagine we're at a cafe striking up a conversation with a stranger.
Okay, I love this one.
Excuse me, I hope you don't mind me asking, but that's a really interesting cover on the book you're reading. What's it called?
Oh, hello. No, not at all. It's called The Overstory by Richard Powers. Have you heard of it?
I have. It's been on my list forever. Is it as good as everyone says?
I'm finding it absolutely captivating. It's all about trees and how they connect to human lives.
Wow, that sounds really interesting.
Yeah?
What's been the most surprising thing you've read?
Probably the way the author gives personalities to different trees.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty unique.
That's intriguing. Do you often read fiction with those kind of themes?
I really enjoy fiction that makes you think about the world in new ways.
Me too.
What kind of books do you usually read?
So you can see how a simple observation
Yeah.
about something in a shared environment can lead to a conversation.
Yeah.
It's all about finding that common interest.
Even if it's small.
So today we covered why small talk is important for building those daily connections.
We did.
And we gave you 5 really accessible topics that you can use.
The weather work or studies hobbies, travel, and food.
And remember, it's not about perfect grammar. It's about connection.
Exactly.
And then we discussed 4 techniques
Yes.
to keep those conversations flowing.
Asking open-ended questions, offering personal details, using follow-up questions, and mirroring and paraphrasing.
And finally, we listened to 3 example conversations to see how it all comes together in real-life situations.
We did.
So we hope that you're feeling more equipped and confident to go out there and engage in small talk in English. It's a valuable skill that can enhance your ability to connect with people, boost your confidence, and help you build stronger relationships.
Absolutely.
So here's a challenge for you this week.
Okay.
Try using at least one of the conversation flow techniques that we talked about.
Yes, and see what happens.
Yeah, pay attention to how it influences the conversations that you have.
Does it lead to a more engaging exchange? Do you feel more at ease?
Does it change the dynamic?
And we'd love to hear about your experiences.
Yes, feel free to share any insights you have or interesting conversations that come up this week.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, we hope you found this useful.
And that you'll feel more prepared to navigate those everyday English conversations.
With confidence and ease.
And think about this. How might your newfound comfort with small talk shift the way you connect with others, both personally and professionally?
It's often the small things that can make a big difference.
So true.
Thanks for listening.